Hello you lot, this is KeefCooks, I'm Keef, and today I'm going to show you how to cook potatoes, my favourite vegetable, 3 different ways. So we're going to have mashed potato, we're going to have a special guest showing us how he does fantastic roast potatoes, and then I'm going to do mini roast potatoes, aka potatoes Parmentier. So recently I got myself a new toy. I got this giant garlic crusher which also works very well on potatoes. It's actually a potato ricer, and the mashed potato that produces is just sensational. So I really want to show you how that's done because it's fab. The roasties he'll explain. It's actually our baby. He's up visiting this weekend from that London. Quite likely the last time we'll see him for a while because we're going to get locked down again next weekend, we think. The whole country, yes. Anyway, if you enjoy this video, give it a like, share, subscribe, etc. And let's cook spuds. Okay, for all 3 of these potato dishes, I'm going to use floury potato. These are Maris Pipers, russets, Yukon Gold, stuff like that, the same kind of thing. To do the mash, magically with this, you don't really need to peel them. So that is a phenomenal advantage, but you do need to cut off any nasty bits and put them into big chunks. Got some cold water, I'm going to pop my spuds in there. Teaspoon of salt. Then we'll bring that to the boil and let it simmer for about 10 minutes until they're tender. Okay, so we're going to make a wonderful mashed potato with potato ricer. I'll put a link in the description below if you want to get one of these from Amazon, because they're quite amazing. Right, chuck a couple in there, give it a good hard squeeze. Open it up, and there's skin stuck to the inside of the presser bit, so just get rid of that and pop a couple more in. Alright, so there's our riced potato. The seasoning, flavouring, it's kind of up to you, but you definitely want plenty of salt, butter in my mash, and a bit of milk, and sometimes a bit of mustard, sometimes white pepper, not black pepper, and just mix it with a fork. And already you can see, you know, the texture is just so non-lumpy but not gluey, you know. It's just perfect, absolutely marvellous stuff. Cheeky taste. Oh yeah. Alright, so we're going to do my baby's special roast potato recipe, and here he is, all the way from London. Hello baby.
Hi everyone.
Son of KeefCooks.
Hello, this is nice.
Who's a bit shy.
Nice to be here.
Come on, explain why you've got so many potatoes.
So I think this is actually a normal amount of potatoes, but the idea with this is that you can stop halfway through and put a bunch of them in the freezer, having done all of the legwork, and then if you decide that you just want to have 4 roast potatoes in the middle of the week, you are then able to do so because you did all of the prep bit earlier.
Clever that. Okay, so he's washed the spuds and arranged them all in size order. Explain.
So you want all your chunks to be the same size, right? But then you don't know what size potatoes you get in your bag. So you need to do them from so you need to sort them into size order. It's very important to do, and then that tells you what size your chunks are going to be. Well, you basically take the smallest one and halve it, and then that's your smallest chunk, and then the rest of them
smallest one.
All have to. So actually, from my angle, it's not, and the rest of them have to be uniform chunks to the ones that you got from your like benchmark potato at the beginning. Some salt, some pepper. Maybe some bay leaves, if you've got bay leaves, maybe some rosemary.
Of course, got bay leaves.
Yeah, so take your, wow, weird, the garlic's cold. Don't know anyone
It's
else.
been in the fridge.
I don't know anyone who refrigerates garlic, but there we are. Anyway, yeah, so you drop a couple of those in. Take some black pepper, put a bit of salt in. Here we are, here are some nice bay leaves.
A rain of bay leaves.
Not stored with the same care and attention as the garlic. I'm going to peel some potatoes now.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got a megaton of potato peelings.
I think a lot of the flavour in a potato is in the skin, so you don't want to bin the skin. So you should take the skin and then just put it in a pot with some other like seasoning, so like salt and pepper, garlic, some rosemary if you've got some bay leaves. The other thing you want is like a large surface area, so you should cut it like on the diagonal and aim for like sharp chunks. So that, for example, these are like good chunks.
It's very complicated.
It is very complicated, but it gives you nice crispy edges, which is what you want.
Yes.
You've got your potatoes which are cut to like a more or less even size now, and then over on the hob you've got your skins and your other stuff like bubbling away. So you put the potatoes in like cold salted water, put it on the hob with the lid on top, and just put it on whatever the top heat your burner can do until steam starts to come out. Very scientific. There we are. So now you have like nice flavoured water. Leave that to bubble. This stage to get to here, from like peeling them and chopping them up and lining them up very precisely and making the stock and parboiling them and stuff, probably takes like 45 minutes. What happens now is they're like nice and fluffy on the outside but hard on the inside. So you just pop them out and let them cool down. Once you can either cook them straight away, or you can let them cool down all the way, and the more you let them cool down the better they will be. Or you can even take half of them and stick them in a freezer bag and put them in the freezer, which then saves you sort of 45 minutes next time. My dad is now scooping this into an irrelevant tray, which I'm actually not going to use.
That's just because if these are going to go in the freezer, but if you put them in a plastic bag right now, that plastic bag will melt.
Oh, there you go.
So there you go.
We had a nice talk earlier about radiation and the radioactive properties of different dishes. I quite like cast iron. My dad just has like a lot of these.
He's just spotted my cast iron griddle and he's coveting it like a covetous person.
It's good, yeah. It's good.
Anyway.
Okay, so the decision has just been made here. These ones are going to be like left to cool basically, and then we'll freeze them and have them another day. These are the ones that we're going to have now. So the main thing is you want to get them in a nice coating of oil. So what I've got here is the closest thing thermally, I think, that my dad has to cast iron that I'm allowed to put in the oven. So I've taken this, I've taken some goose fat that we had in the fridge and put it in the bottom. I'm taking some nice extra virgin olive oil and just like putting a Jamie Oliver glug in there. And then the next thing is you just take your spuds, put them in. You want them to have a nice even coat, so like just scoop them around. This dish is quite hot, like.
Slap it in.
Yeah, and now we bung it in the oven.
Don't salt or anything on it.
Now go on, just put it in.
Now, in all the excitement, we forgot to get footage of the spuds coming out of the oven. Not to worry. Ideally, the temperature you want to cook them at is 160 Celsius for a fan oven, convection oven, and it's 180 for a conventional one, and that's gas 4. But if you've already got stuff going on in there, don't worry, just put your potatoes in. So the spuds at that temperature will take about 45 minutes, but have a look halfway through and turn them over just to get them evenly cooked. So we go, fantastic roast potatoes. Now for the Parmentier potatoes, you need some spuds, a couple of tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, a couple of sprigs of fresh rosemary, 3 or 4 cloves of garlic. Oh, and that's it, actually. I need to peel and dice the potatoes. I need to peel and mince the garlic, and I need to, well, strip the leaves off one of the sprigs, and we'll keep the other one as kind of a garnish. Now we want to set your magic knife to do 1 centimetre cubes, just under ½ inch. Now I've got a small pan with cold water in it, and well, ½ teaspoon of salt, and we'll just pop the spuds in there, and then stick it on the stove and bring it to the boil. So this is just a parboil, and then we'll bake them normally in the oven, but because we need the oven for the roast potatoes, I'm going to do this in the air fryer. So the oven or the air fryer needs to be preheated to 200 degrees Celsius, or if you're using a conventional oven, you want that to be 220 Celsius, and that is gas 7. While we're waiting for this butter to come to the boil, just peel the garlic and then crush it, mince it. And then take one of the sprigs of rosemary and strip off the leaves, and then just chop them smaller. Alright, I'm going to put the monster air fryer on to heat up to 200 Celsius. So the spuds are actually quite well firm. They're not, you know, you wouldn't eat them at this stage, which is what we want. So we'll just throw in the garlic and the chopped rosemary, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and a drizzle of olive oil. And that goes in the air fryer or the oven for 30 minutes, but I will check it about halfway through and possibly turn them over. And now it's taste test time with him and, oh sorry, son of KeefCooks and mother of KeefCooks.
No.
No.
Mrs. KeefCooks.
Mother of son of KeefCooks. God, it's complicated.
And darling
Good.
offspring.
Very, very natural. One
Yes.
take.
There you
Right,
go.
spontaneous or what? Tell me what I'm looking at.
Food.
Potatoes 3 ways and
Okay.
what? Beans?
So these are some very good roast potatoes which I made.
Oh, right. Okay.
Some mash from Dad, and then what are these?
These are Parmentier potatoes, or potatoes Parmentier.
How's this? Any good?
They're
Yeah.
mini roasties, very quick and very tasty and very yum yum.
God, that is actually really good.
Yeah, it's going to be another one of those where we just stand here going,
Oh.
These are
They did what they meant to do.
crisp and firm on the
very good.
outside. And they've got a lovely flavour to them and they're salty in the middle, so that works for me. Right. Is this your mashed potato that you made?
Yeah.
So
Which you've had a
I have to
million
know
times
we're
before.
supposed to be pretending that this is hot. It won't be because it's been, photographed. But I happen
Wow.
that his mashed potato is just the best. No,
It does taste like vanilla ice cream.
I'll kill you later.
Try that and think of vanilla ice cream. Oh yeah, go on.
That is wonderful.
Ah, yes. Back to this. I like
that
this.
was it. And no, ever since you got the potato rice, this, oh my goodness. Okay. So what are they? Oh, Parmentier?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Does it mean cube?
it a place?
Named after the guy who popularised the consumption of potatoes by humans in the 18th century, because previous to that, they just the beasties would eat it, and it wasn't thought fit.
Oh, I'll tell you what. This would popularise potatoes. This is really nice. What's on them? Is salt and pepper.
Yeah.
Bit of
What else?
garlic. A little bit of garlic.
Bit of garlic, bit of vivu, and
Bit
rosemary.
of what? Vivu. What's
Evu.
Vivu.
What's that?
Extra virgin olive oil. I only know this because every time Keith writes the shopping list, there'll be Evu on it, and it's like, what's that then? Oh yeah,
Not every
extra
time.
virgin olive oil.
Olive
No,
oil,
but every
maybe.
time you do, yeah. I like those.
Right. Okay.
Hang on,
Successful potato.
don't I get to try the beans?
No, because it's not part of the taste test.
That is here for visual. What's it?
That's your dinner.
Right.
All right.
So I'm sorted. What about you?
I'm on the sausage.
Oh, thanks guys.
We'll just have the parsley off the top.
Okay. So I've done this right. Husband who cooks.
So.
Son who cooks.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow.
That was hard work.
Oh yes.
But thanks
yeah.
for watching, and
Have to go all the way.
4. See you next time.
See how
Smile.
spontaneous it is. We do this every time, It's dead spontaneous.
You look terrified.
Always make it to the
You've
end.
seen it before.
Yeah.
Well, you never knew it was going to be in movies.
Okay. All right. Tra.